fact, didn't really do all that much during the time either. Poppy is going to be banned away, and she slipped through the draft yesterday.
She definitely didn't. We were looking at, they were talking about this beforehand, what champion should actually be visible in this next draft? What should be addressed? Well, very obviously Poppy, and that was what we concluded, and it's good to see it being banned away from Chiefs, who seem to be on the ball with the current meta. Yeah, well, we were talking about Swiper as well as this guy known for his adaption, able to really change things up there in the top lane. Tahm Kench is going to be removed, either from Jake or from Pac-Man. Possibly impaired, who knows? Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of focus here for Pac-Man, you would have to assume. Yeah. Tahm Kench can be flexed, of course, can go in up to 3 lanes if you're getting desperate and need it in the jungle, but at the moment, what we have seen is predominantly Tahm Kench in that top lane, so a lot of focus for Pac-Man. Very interesting. Blue side Gangplank ban as well here from Trident. Don't want to let that one go over. The Chiefs now with the final one. Of course, Rise still available. Trundle still available. 6.1 Trundle, seen a couple of nerfs, but that mana can't eat towers anymore. Of course, makes a bit of sense. I wouldn't want to bite into a tower. It's just stupid. It's bad for your teeth. Yeah, really, really silly. Mundo, though, is going to be the one banned away. So Rise is available. Trident want to pick that one up, can flex that. But Lulu, that's another one that slipped through with the Malphite being banned, with the Fiora being banned. All of these power picks are going to be available. So Lulu, the consideration. There's more than just Lulu available too. So Lissandra and Alistar are 2 of the big champions that we've seen drafted early because of their capabilities to flex. Lulu, the perfect example of a flex champion as well. So Trident, if they lock this in, wouldn't be a big surprise, but the immediate response from the Chiefs will not be the Swiper special. Don't get your hopes up. I would assume that it's going to be Alistar Lissandra. Alistar Lissandra would make a lot of sense. Of course, Trundle Lissandra is another option here for the follow-ups. I know that Pac-Man's been playing a lot of Lissandra, but of course the Chiefs always up with the current meta. We'll see exactly what happens. Of course, Ezreal's available as well. He's been seeing a lot of play with Misfortune falling out in the 6.1 patch. A little bit more emphasis, and we know that Radier loves to play the champion. Yeah. Definitely is a Radier champion, of course, as is Vayne, as is Kalista, as is any AD carry, really. That's a good point. But Ezreal has seen a massive rise in popularity since the release of the blue build Ezreal. Yeah, and it's going to be locked away here as well, as Swipe is going to pick that one up. Trundle as well. EGM most likely picking that one for his support position, but early days, Rusty. It's League of Flex picks at the moment. I mean, you know, we've had League of Warmogs, Leader Blade of the Ruined King, League of Flex picks. It was even the Black Cleaver meta. I know, that was a beautiful one. Really enjoyed that. Beautiful. And had a really great time in top lane against Ribbons during that particular moment. BMA cycling through some of his signature champions. Warwick probably should be there as one of them. But no, Orianna being considered. And that makes a decent wombo, especially paired up with Impaired's Rek'Sai. Wants to be able to get around the rift and knock people around. A decent team composition if they're going to put Pac-Man in the top lane on this Lulu, though. That's better. Yeah, okay. So going to be switching it around to the Alistar, building themselves a potential Yasuo team comp. Of course, not sure whether BMA plays the champion. Haven't seen him on it for a very long time, but the Chiefs now with their opportunities. Cheese, can you just hover this lane for me, please? I want it hovered. That's all I want. I don't know if that's worth anything, really, though. It's like Swiper hovering Tryndamere. You just know it, but it felt good, you know? It felt good. It's impossible. He's found at least the Tryndamere button. Yeah. Which is, I guess, R. Right-click. Yep. Yeah. It's halfway there. I will say that much. Of course, Chiefs, not too long left to make their decisions. And again, you mentioned it. This is the draft of flex at the moment, but team compositions really become essential here. Chiefs still having that last pick option is a very big deal to them. They can afford to make another flex rotation, round out the team comp, maybe put a tank in the top lane, or look towards a carry top laner with a tank-ish jungler because they've got the Trundle in support. They need a bit of crowd control maybe to round this composition out a bit more. This is exactly what I was about to say. Lissandra and Lee Sin would be so incredibly easy. Flex that one around the top and the mid lane. Cheese can play either the Ezreal or the Lissandra there. Their last pick is so incredibly ambiguous heading out of this second last stage of the draft for the Chiefs, and they get to see exactly what Trident are bringing to the Rift. See what that's going to be. Yeah, I like the Chiefs draft so far as a 4-man roster. Honestly, that 4-man roster could win team fights by itself. Yeah. All they're really missing is the potential top lane. I'm not going to say Tryndamere. We don't actually know if it's top lane missing just yet. Of course, Lissandra's still there. Trundle, to an extent, is still there also. So Lee Sin's still there. And this is the best part about the Chiefs draft, is they can actually play a lot of those champions wherever they need at the time. So they react to what Trident are putting in right now, and then they make their decision with their last pick. Yeah, and it could be the super tanky Malphite. Maokai up there in the top lane, potentially.
Jake is hovering over that one, but Kalista and Darius is locked in, ladies and gentlemen. So Darius in the top lane. We were talking about Pac-Man, whether he was going to play tanks or not. Sort of a bit of both, but you'd say he's got a fair bit of damage.
Yeah, the Juggernaut.
yeah.
Nightmares just came back flooding through my mind.
I know. It's been a while since we saw him, but yeah, no, I know what you mean. Let's just take a... yeah, no, it's frightening stuff. Hold me, Rusty. But we'll see what Trident are going to be able to do with it because, of course, pretty stationary. The whole point of a Juggernaut is you're slow moving, but if anyone gets anywhere near you, you're going to destroy them. I think of, Avatar, those massive bulldozers that they have that are tearing up the trees that are like millions of years old. Kind of like that. That's how I see Darius. That's why we were so scared before. I mean,
fair enough, but they've got... I was going to say they've got a Lulu on the team composition, so the speed that the Juggernaut will be going at is a lot faster, so I don't know if that's an apt comparison now.
Damn it. I don't think it ever was, to be
no,
honest.
But it was a really good attempt.
I tried really hard. Renekton's there, though. He's going to be hovered at least for the Chiefs for the last 2 seconds. Locked away as Swiper goes back to a definite comfort pick. This is one from a long time ago. And the battle of the giant crocodile against the big guy with an axe.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
It's amazing. Talking to Swiper at the Player Summit was like, so what are you going to pick in top lane? What do you like? He's like, well, they could pick like one of 54,000 champions. I'm probably just going to play Renekton. Well, I think I can beat them with Renekton.
He's starting off well in that front because if he was playing any other champion, it'd be very hard to beat them as Renekton. So he's going to take that one against the Darius. But we haven't seen this matchup for a very long time. And I don't know whether Renekton really should win that matchup because Renekton's known for going in, but Darius tends to love that.
There's a trick with going in on the Darius, though, so that if you're in the inner circle, you're literally on top of the Darius, then he does a lot less damage.
So just don't go halfway in. And if you're going to go in, go all the way
But the thing with Renekton is he can be in, do all of his bursts, stun you, and then be out. And there's actually no chance for the Darius to trade. If the Darius does trade, a lot of sustain can come out from that queue. So an interesting top lane, to say the least. I think Swiper's the one that has to actually execute heavy, as is every top lane matchup against the Darius. If you make a mistake, you die. If you don't make a mistake, you might kill him, but he's still Darius.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting story about the jungle matchup as well, as you can see it on your screen, the Lee Sin versus the Rek'Sai. And if that 2v2 ends up making it in there, I mean, relatively even, as we do have, of course, the hashtags try win or cheap win. If you want Trident to win this game, go ahead and use that hashtag, and CHF win if you want the Chiefs to continue to be our reigning legends here and carry that belt through. And we'll see whether they're going to have a repeat of last season, of course, carrying it the whole way through the OPL split, theoretically.
Yeah, that's right. A lot on the line here for the Chiefs. Of course, they want that little bit of a match bonus in the pocket.
Exactly.
And I'm sure Trident, they'd be hungry to take that away from them. As the Chiefs, we don't want them to go undefeated again, do we? In another whole split.
I would prefer that didn't happen. Nothing against the Chiefs, except that we just like to mix things up here. Trident, though, you can see hungry for a victory. Formerly Legacy Genesis, of course. Wanted to get their young mechanics out here. Nice ward goes down from Swiper. Spots all 5 members of Trident moving towards the top lane. Pac-Man. Oh, no flash apprehend to come out this time around.
No.
As the Chiefs answer this early roam.
Look, I would wager using apprehend at level 1
That
affects your laning phase.
I'd say so.
Negatively.
Good. And I would say so as well. So not going to be taking that particular one. And Trident just going to head back to base here as well after getting that deep vision, but not wanting to go up against the lane swap or wanting to make sure that they're getting the lane swap that they want here on the side of Trident. We'll see exactly where they go as they head back to base. You can see Alistair already moving up the mid lane, very flexible in his movement options as Kalista is going to make her way towards the bottom side, and seems like we are going to have standard lanes ensuing.
We're going to have the standard lanes, of course. Kalista and Alistair. It's a little bit weaker at the moment. Kalista, remember, we're on 6.1, so the live patch that everyone has been playing on, they've put a nerf onto the rend. So you don't get mana back if you only hit one target, or only rend to get the mana back from one target. So you can poke, but you need to set up 2 minions instead of 1.
Yeah, well, let's see how he's going to navigate this lane. Of course, Addition, former sub for the Chiefs, as is Impaired. See whether they're going to be able to take it to them as Spooks takes away the little Cinderlings.
That's a unique pathing choice here from, or not pathing, more so his decision making on taking out the red buff. Everyone tends to go for the red, utilize what they've got from the Krugs with the stun on every auto attack. Of course, Lee Sin being able to buff his attack speed.
Ooh, Pillar goes down. Ijim going to try and slow down Trident here as the Ren comes out. Addition Able to get a fair bit back there, but Radius still pushing things out.
Yeah, level 2 power spike's just too legit.
Yeah.
Ejim and Radius, especially with a Trundle, like the mispositioning that you can force.
Ooh, Arcane Shift aggressive there from Radius, of course, knows they haven't hit level 2 yet.
Has Addition used his... I don't actually know what it's called, what you start with as Kalista. He hasn't bound.
He has not bound yet. The little dagger guy. You never get an opportunity to talk about it.
No, because it never exists.
You don't actually see it. BMA though getting aggressed on here by Cheese, manages to slow him down. Spooks makes his way in. Is the Ignite going to be there? No, Cheese doesn't have it. And BMA is going to survive. Impaired now his chance to gank as Radiant blows his flash immediately. Impaired says, yep, that's my job done. He's going to burrow his way out. Both ganks not quite working, but both flashes down in the respective lanes.
I will say the key difference between these, though, is that one has a teleport and can get back to lane. One hasn't actually recalled at all because with the potion that he's about to put in place, is actually still comfortable. So Beamer, he's opting to stay, but he's also losing his lane by staying here. Could get denied a lot of farm if he overstays his welcome and runs the threat of Lee Sin coming back one more time. Lyssandra's kill threat is just so strong.
It is, and it also suits Cheese's playstyle so much. We mentioned his Swain. He does like these low-range mages. Lysandra fits right into that category. Of course, it has been a while since we saw Cheese. Played in the OPL for a stint last season, but not towards the end.
It's that level 6 go button.
Exactly. It's the level 6, I'm sorry, you're dead button, I think, is what we call it. May not even be that polite.
Yet to see him play Karthus as well, though. That's the weird one.
Man.
Get on that.
We'll see. How do you think Karthus fits into the current meta, Rusty?
I actually think it's not bad. Karthus has always been good. I don't want to tell everyone to play Karthus, though, because then games become a little bit less fun.
Yeah. Well, Chiefs getting their lane pushed towards them here as Jake's going to lock down the cannon minion. We've seen a lot of this particular lane, Alistair Kalista. Of course, a little bit more on 5.24 as opposed to 6.1, but so far, Addition doing well, utilizing the gank that he did manage to get. Jake actually getting caught in the wall by the pillar. Thankfully has a heck of a lot of health and didn't aggro any of the Chiefs members, but that was odd.
That was odd, but also very well done from Ejim. Clearly quite skilled at using the pillar.
Yeah.
Could be very dangerous for Trident if they actually make another positional error again.
Rady, you can see, just trying his very best to clear out these minions underneath the turret. Doing a decent job as Ejim's going to soak a lot of that harassment. Addition taking a bit back there as well, but evened out the farm has Rady as he's picked up the majority of those. You can see Impaired, of course, a player that we were looking at pretty heavily earlier on. We'll see whether he's going to be able to make the impact that he wants to. Already blown a flash towards the bottom side, but he's falling behind in the farm just a little bit. Wolf Spirit going to spot Spooks as he makes his way into the jungle.
Impaired is a level behind, so in terms of the 1 versus 1, would not say Impaired is in an ideal situation. Of course, Spooks is looking threatening around this buff to the point where Impaired needs to show respect.
Yeah, the teleport's going to come in from BMA as he makes it back to the mid lane. She's, of course, now sure exactly where that mid laner is. You can see Swiper was back, so I have a feeling that's why Spooks didn't go all the way in. Swiper making his way back up this lane, can't put the pressure onto Pac-Man, who would have been able to just get over there and destroy him. Nice Q from Cheese, already BMA down to half health.
Yeah, Beamer trying to tank the minions. Oh god, Spooks is in.
He's in, level 4 Impaired against the level 5 Spooks, and he'll get more vision down as he makes his way out, just sending a bit of a message.
It's just wall jumping for the sake of it this game.
Having fun.
Didn't really need to. But, of course, a positive trade here. Impaired still gets the jungle camp, still getting the experience he's after, but the Chiefs are denying that blue buff indefinitely.
Yeah. You can see Swiper as well having a whale of a time up here in the top lane. 7 CS ahead, but a massive wave that he can just hold on to. Pac-Man does have to be careful. He's got that Noxian Guillotine available if he needs it, but not going to have any kill threat against the big old crocodile.
So the best part is that he's zoning himself because he knows that Spooks is nearby. And it's taken such a long time for Spooks to leave that bush. Spooks was on a ward, granted.
Yep.
That he was zoning himself from all of the farm. And at the end of the day, it's still pushing the Swiper.
Yeah,
just from Spooks being there.
And he's holding onto it as well, just outside this turret. So it's going to be very hard for Pac-Man to find anything as far as a creep wave to hit is concerned. We'll see whether he decides to move around the map, grab something else instead. But there's so much vision towards that top side as Spooks was just hunting for Impaired. But not a lot can be done. And of course, the Chiefs bottom lane, something that we've also had conversations about doing fine.
Yeah.
A few CS behind, actually, so Addition and Jake doing a decent job. But they're just farming things out, waiting for their spikes to come in. And, of course, Radier not being back. Neither has Addition.
You might say he'd want to be back sooner rather than later, though, if he's going for the tier build. The blue Ezreal that everyone does opt into. Might be saving up enough money to go for the tier and Sheen if he's going to be super greedy with his itemization.
Yep.
It's a nice power spike for laning phase, but you're also missing out on the efficiency on that scaling.
Well, another pillar goes down there as Jake's not taking too much damage from Ejim at all. The other thing that Radier could be doing is just saying, what the heck, let's just go back to my original style, which would build a Trinity Force.
I highly doubt it. The blue Ezreal at the moment
so
is just amazing. No reason not to go for it, honestly.
Well, BMA going to pick up the blue buff. You can see Cheese continuing to push there in the mid lane. Has found himself a slight CS lead as both of these mid laners going towards that Frost Queen's claim. Spook's just killing some tunnels as Pac-Man takes his opportunity to move over.
Good awareness from Impaired. Knows that Spooks is nearby and just stays away from the Gromp. Doesn't actually commit to killing it yet and waits for Spooks to show himself. Pretty smart jungler here, Impaired, so far.
Yeah, doing a very nice job. Of course, 0-0 on the scoreboard. Still, this stage of the game. Very close in gold and farm across the board. Of course, Pac-Man falling behind just a little bit, but you can see being made up for in the bottom lane more than anything else. And despite all of his aggressive movements and Spook sort of hanging around in the enemy jungle, very even on the farm here as well as he's going to pick up his wolves.
Yeah, doing well to stay at least even with the farm, considering all the pressure that has been placed onto Impaired, and Spook's even managing to stay out with all the pressure and time he spent not in the jungle. The biggest difference to me at the moment isn't even that bottom lane. Ezreal did go for the item build that we mentioned.
Yeah.
He's still going to continue to scale. Renekton is quite far ahead, and that's very dangerous territory for this Darius to deal with.
Not only that, but Swiper seems to just not really mind as well. Keeps holding the lane away from any potential gank opportunities.
Yeah.
Only now pushing forward. 84 CS to the 62, so 22 ahead. Ejim's going to be spotted at least. Jake is going to get some vision down on that dragon. Make sure no sneaky business is going to come out. It does. Ejim actually going to hit the cow instead. That's really frustrating.
Desperation attempts to get pink wards.
Yep.
Spooks is nearby and so is Impaired though, so risky business.
Yeah, this actually could be an opportunity though for Trident, just because, of course, having to put that 700 gold into buying a tier does mean that you're a little bit lacking on the old damage stats. In addition, going towards that Blade of the Ruined King has usable attack speed. Of course, all of the extra lifesteal as well from that Bilgewater Cutlass.
And again, Spooks working towards the enemy jungle. We'll spot one of the two wards hit. We'll assume there is no second ward. May even consider invading on the assumption that there's no ward there.
Eat the turret. Eat the tunnel as well. Some free money.
Yeah.
Impaired, full vision. Going to be taking this Rift Scuttler. Pink ward around there as well as Cheese is going to move back after shoving that wave forward. Spook's going to be discovered by BMA here trying to steal away the jungle, but Spooks doesn't seem to mind. Just going to take some popcorn chicken home with him.
That was good from Beamer though. Recognizes where Spooks is, takes some free harassment to the Lee Sin. Lee Sin now working his way bottom again, assumes there's no vision in that bush he's walked through.
The bottom lane going to collapse on him there as well as Impairs is going to take away Spooks' jungle completely unbeknownst to the Chiefs. The Chiefs with a huge wave pushing up to this turret as well. I mean, I like Spooks' movement just because even if he doesn't get the gank off, still going to be able to get the work done as Swiper just throws out a little bit of a combo.
If you have the Enraged stun from Renekton, it instantly applies Thunderlords.
Not bad.
You need to just press W when you're angry.
And he's pretty angry. We saw him. As Cheese just going to continue farming things out, but so far very slow here in the early game. 121 to 102 in that mid, and BMA was keeping up well and truly with Cheese up until just about now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with that is Beam has been trying to keep the wave frozen and try and get all of the last hits and not let it hit the turret because his turret's starting to get poked down lower and lower. He's also losing a lot of health because of this. And look at how aggressively Cheese is pushing. He is not slowing down in that push at all. Beamer getting pressured under his turret, or Cheese just pushes and then disappears, and it's rinse and repeat. You can see the ghosts have to be used to search for him again.
Yeah, Frostbane's claim coming out, of course. Impaired was in the area. Oh, Radiant able to get the cannon creep. Love it. Fantastic stuff. Not going to be able to get that minion, but who cares? Got the cannon. It's all worth. As the Chiefs moving towards Addition. Spook's looking to find his way in. There's the flash forward as all the teleports are down. They look for Addition, grab it for first blood, send it over to Cheeses. Jake might be in trouble as well. Unbreakable Will comes out. BMA's underneath the turret, gets slowed down by some spooky as heck ghosts. But there was nothing they could do. 5 members of the Chiefs just pull the trigger.
Yeah, you're right. Not a thing they could do. They've got the double teleport composition here. Cheese makes his way in. They catch out Addition, who has overstayed his welcome in that bottom lane by a fair margin, to say the least. Raider's ultimate, not even necessary because Addition died before it even went in.
Well, the trade's going to come in here as Trident push down the top outer turret as well, but the extra kill will put the Chiefs a little bit ahead as far as that one is concerned. Pac-Man looking to try and kill as many of these creeps as he can before this turret falls down, but it's going to be a dragon as well here for the Chiefs as they grab a kill, a turret, a dragon, and even able to pick up that mid lane farm is Cheese.
I mean, really the only benefit they got from it was the extra kill. The turrets have been traded, and the fact that Darius got the turret as well, yeah, is pretty good. It resets the lane a little bit. Unfortunately, it does open the opportunities for Raider to freeze the top lane if he would like, or Swiper to freeze the top lane and continue to get a farm advantage. So Pac-Man, as we're seeing now, needs to be impactful on other areas of the map.
Well, already, Harold going to get taken down. Let's see if they can use that to move. Yeah, he was. Poor little Harold. Never gets above 20. Never gets above 20, man.
Well, Baron squashes him out.
It's awful. It's like veal, you know? Let's not go into it.
Forget how he disappears. He like recedes.
He does. He goes back to the void. I
yeah.
think he goes back to the void.
It's weird that you come here for a short visit. Is the void that bad?
I don't know. It is the void. It must get boring.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, nothing much goes on in the old void.
To choose between the void and death, you know?
That's true. Some people call them the same thing. I think what is down here, though, is Trident looking to try and secure their blue buff. Chiefs making it very difficult for them, too, though, as Swipe is going to poke his head around, and they're going to give up on it.
Yeah.
Pac-Man's going to make his way in. Spook's going to start this one up. All of the Chiefs still hanging around here. Jakey, of course, present. The apprehend available from Pac-Man, but we haven't seen him make too much of an impact here as Swiper still just standing off to the side. And this blue buff's like, come on, someone give me some attention.
He's lost his patience multiple times with the rest of these teams. Raider, again, as we mentioned, can sit in that top lane now, start accumulating farm because Trident, they were spending a lot of time dealing with that blue buff. The same thing in the middle lane.
Yeah. Oh, there's the flash forward as Swiper's going to stun BMA up as well. The Q lands, Spooks finds his way in, and Swiper going to secure the kill. Yeah, Spooks in a fair bit of trouble. Ejim, though, even more as Pac-Man slam dunks him. The Chiefs are going to get out 1-for-1 thus far as Cheese even wants to be able to take himself some popcorn chickens. Oh my goodness! The double kill now for Pac-Man. As a New Zealand top laner really doing some work. There's the flash forward. The headbutt back onto Swiper. Gets ignited. Addition doesn't want it because the triple kill's there for Pac-Man. And we were talking about the Darius not being able to get too much done. Triple kill. I'll give it to him. That's not too bad.
That's not a Darius that the Chiefs want to play against right now because not only has he caught up in farm to Swiper, but he's got himself a triple kill. An aggressive dive from the Chiefs. Honestly, I will call it foolish because they just wanted to kill Beamer so badly.
Well, they did it. To their credit, I guess they did achieve their goal, but in the end, definitely not worth it. As Pac-Man, that's exactly what he wanted this game.
You 100% what he wanted. You can see again, Beamer, very well done to get the ultimate off before the fight even starts. Lives through a whole lot of burst. Addition gets Spooked very low, and this turret is still there. That's why I was a bit confused. Why are you diving the second turret as the Chiefs roster?
Good point.
Pac-Man just pulls in Trundle, gets that reset. A lot of bonus AD on this Darius right now. And this is really just where it goes downhill for the Chiefs, because this is going to be a third kill for Pac-Man. And that Darius, he could probably just do whatever he wants right now and just gallivant across the map casually.
He swings his axe back and forth, I think, is what he wants to do.
Oh, God.
Jake continuing to move forward here, of course. Red buff is going to reset. Addition just likes hitting things with spears, so he's just going to keep smacking into that one. The red buff donated over to the Callista here. Swiper trying to get himself back in to the farm game. So he's going to start pulling ahead, but Pac-Man with those 3 kills, just looking so devastating. Now with the Swifty Boots, chain mail as well as that Black Cleaver.
Yeah, that will be a dead man's plate, you would have to say. Already got the health crystal working towards that item, and once the Darius has a dead man's plate, you mentioned him being a slow, lumbering juggernaut. Not only does he have a Lulu, he's going to have move speed of his own accord because he's moving swift, and he'll be that much faster with a dead man's plate.
Yeah, picked up his dead man's Nikes.
Just do it.
Yeah, well, he's going to. Just did, I think, that triple kill. Heck of a lot of work.
Just did it.
Yeah, Radier, though, farming things out, thinking, team, why are we so aggressive? We should not be playing like this. Just want to farm all day, every day.
I mean, the saving grace is that he is farming quite well.
Yeah.
He's working towards the upgraded Manamune item right now. Not too far away, and that tier is well and truly stacking. So hopefully his next recall for the Chiefs will be the completed item and the boots ready to go. And that's when you'll most likely see the Chiefs' aggression up the ante a little bit further.
Most definitely, but all the vision available for the Chiefs. They are going to utilize it to try and get some pressure on this bottom inner turret, but not going to happen as Trident are going to move themselves around. Impaired, spotted, is going to spot Cheese though as he pings him out in his jungle. Cheese going to stay in the mid lane though and continue putting his pressure down. Of course, that outer turret did fall in favor of the Chiefs. 3 turrets now to 2. But there is not a lot in this game, and Trident are playing it out very, very well.
I mean, there may not be a lot in this game, but I keep looking towards the middle lane. It's a Rod of Ages and finished Spooky Ghosts for Cheese right now. This Lysandra is monstrous. It's 200 farm at 19 minutes, by the way.
Sure.
In a great position. And team fighting behind a Lysandra is so easy to do because the engage is always going to be there, and Cheese is always going to engage because that's just what Cheese does.
Yeah.
I feel like if the engage goes well for the Chiefs, they can separate targets with Ejim using the pillar, and Lysandra hits a priority target, and the Chiefs will win. But if Trident lives through it, which is entirely possible, given they've got the Lulu, they've got an Alistar, Kalista ultimate, and a Darius is just Darius, then Trident could turn it back around.
Well, they're going to do so with the aid of Harold here as well. His last little bout on the Rift before Baron decides to take his place.
It was actually about 2 seconds before he left.
I know, right? I was going to say they had to be quick, but they were, so
Not
it was
even
fine.
Close.
Yeah, Beamer going to be able to speed around and buff up some minions here as well. Nice vision clear from Trident as they're going to start up the Dragon. A lot of secure on these neutral objectives, having addition on their squad. And Chiefs looks like they just want to give that one up. They're pushing down this mid lane. Inner turret under fire now as Swiper continues to put pressure towards the top side. Yeah, you can see actually the Chiefs saying, well, you took the Dragon, we're going to continue to move even further away from you.
Yeah, Cheese just being a pest. He can get away quite easily, use that claw. Has got his flash available as well if need be, and the Chiefs have very much grouped around here, consciously working towards that top side where Swiper's set up the wave. I'm going to say perfectly, they've almost got it.
Yeah, Essence Block's going to be used there as well as,
and they did.
Radier, the perfect amount of damage on the turret, able to Arcane Shift his way out of the way as well. Beamer going to be able to take the bottom out of turret, utilizing Harold's buff. Thank you, Harold.
The old Harold. He's doing work here, Beamer, making the most of what he can, but of course, if a Lulu's not available in the fight, then you would have to say it gets very difficult for Trident to execute. I know they've got a 3-0 Darius, but if Beamer's the split push options, or the only split push option you have to question.
Oh, teleport comes in. Spooky Ghosts come out there as well. They're going to see the fact that Pac-Man's made his way down.
Oh, wow.
Oof, that was close.
Life or death Ghost just there.
Yeah, exactly. Teleport's traded though, so nothing lost, really, as far as advantage.
No, it's definitely one thing lost. It does confine Beamer to having to split push against Swiper. Darius not having that available. Lysandra not having it available, not a big deal, because they're going to work around Lysandra engages.
Good point.
And they're looking to have Renekton come in, whereas you'd want Beamer there, and you'd want Pac-Man to come in. They can't do that, they have to swap.
Well, Ejim just cleaning in the jungle here. He's going to set up some vision as well. Pesky turrets turning up. You can see now Cheese on his own just a little bit in the river around this Baron area, just getting some extra vision down. You can see as far as the trinket switch arounds, Cheese holding on to the vision for a little while longer.
It's tough. This situation's very tricky. Trident, they're being run around. All of the sidewave control is in, oh my god, is in favor of the Chiefs, I was going to say, and then that happened. Now I'm distracted.
Yeah, well.
He's out of position.
He is. The Arcane Shift is going to be needed here as the Glitterlance is available. Going to land there is
dead.
Yep, he's slowed down. Pac-Man, so huge. BMA is going to be the one that ends up picking up the kill. And Radier, first death of the OPL split comes in.
Oh, it's amazing. A simple mechanical error from Radier. Something you don't often see.
Yeah.
And he gets caught out of position. Chiefs, they're still working the side lanes, though. And this is, again, a big concern. Trident, they want a team fight. The Chiefs don't want a team fight. And they're executing on that lack of team fighting very well.
Yeah, well, blue buff is going to be taken away here as Cheese uses that claw. Spook's going to find his way around, slow down his Pac-Man, and they are going to be able to take this blue buff away. Cheese picks that one up for himself. So just traded there on the blue buffs. Cheese hanging around the Baron, but probably not going to go for it now. Radiant 1 second, and he is going to be back in a turret under fire as Addition throwing some spears into it. Down to about half health already. True Shot Barrage not going to do enough as Ejim's going to make his way around. Pillar's going to be there. Going to stop the retreat. Not quite dead. Yeah, there it goes. It's Trident locked down that turret. So in it falls. Evening up those turrets now as well. And the game in its entirety. 500 gold the lead for Trident right now. Nothing at all. And I don't think anyone was expecting this to be so close.
No, not at all. But I also don't know what the Chiefs are honestly waiting for. They've got the Zonias now completed on Lissandra, so that's going to help. I think Cheese is going to be very confident. I think he's capable now of winning team fights almost of his own accord. Raider's got the 2 major items that the Ezreal wants.
Yep.
Working towards the 3rd. He's doing a lot of damage. And the Chiefs as a team right now, they've got exactly what's needed of them to win these team fights. But they're against the 3-0 Darius, who you would say once he has magic resistance is even harder to kill. Rek'Sai, Impaired, has got his resistances. He's very difficult to kill already. And they've got a Lulu, Kalista with QSS, and an Aegis Alistar. Like across the board, Trident. Very tough to take down.
Yeah.
Chiefs, they're trying their absolute best to work side lanes, catch them out of position. But time and again, Trident are just like pushing a single lane. One time they caught Raider out of position. The next time they just decided to push the turret down. And all of this time that the Chiefs are wasting is time that you would have to say Trident's starting to get stronger.
Yeah, scaling forward in this game, and Radio is sort of one of the options there as far as scaling is concerned, because you have to say it's going to be very difficult for Pac-Man to get on top of a blue Ezreal come late game, where he's just shifting everywhere. Blade of the Ruined King going to be available as well, so...
The biggest thing to me is Renekton's dropping off in power.
Yeah.
It's like Renekton's always going to be good at every stage of the game because of the stun. Very hard to kill this Renekton, even with an offensive type of build, so like an off-tank build.
Yep.
Will still be doing a lot of damage, but realistically, the Darius is going to be doing the same amount and just be building tank items, whereas Renekton, you have to start worrying for the Chiefs top laner and what he's able to do.
Yeah, is it going to be enough? The Chiefs still playing very far forward, though you can see, especially here on the top side, as they're protecting Radius' position. Very far forward on the Ezreal, once again looking like he's on his own. Pac-Man on the bottom side, but has his teleport now available again, as does Cheese. The answer from BMA going to be here as the Lulu comes up. Doesn't have Frost Queens as Cheese going to get tagged. Impaired not going in too far. Now going to find himself a pink ward. Take that one off the map, and Trident making things dark for the Chiefs.
It's getting worse and worse. I'm not going to say that the Chiefs don't scale either. I just worry for the Chiefs' capabilities of fighting the later it goes. Asterix Gauge is probably their next item of choice here for Addition also.
Yeah.
You try bursting him out then when he has a QSS and Asterix.
I don't think that's happening. He's also got a Lulu.
Exactly.
Very, very scary. Not to mention Alistar as well. Breakable Will just able to get him out of almost whatever he wants. But the Chiefs, decent rotational play, but Jakey's going to find his way in. No headbutt to get Cheese back. As the Circle of Doom comes out. Claw going to be utilized, but...
Impaired didn't engage there on the Lissandra. He probably could have. Knocked up, potentially at least, before the claw went out and try and stopped him out of position. Pac-Man had the rotation, but Trident don't pull the trigger this time.
No, Swiper, he's looking to head back to base. We'll see what he decides to pick up here, as of course he wasn't in that little 4-man push. I'm just so impressed by the vision on both of these sides. It's because it looks like no team, apart from Trident, you'd say at the very beginning, have been caught with their pants down at all. I mean, Radiant. I mean, that's another example.
Yeah. Honestly.
Otherwise, a lot of control.
And it is a vision game right now. I still get the vibes that the Chiefs just don't want a team fight. They're almost confined to this middle lane. and they're working around the capabilities of Swiper and this side lane control, but if they don't have Cheese there, they can't engage, and if Beamer split pushes with Pac-Man, just honestly, I don't know what the Chiefs are trying to do yet.
Well, Swiper once again going to start going back to base. Of course, cancelled it last time just to try and make sure that he could get that bottom lane pushing. The rest of the Chiefs heading back home as well. What is Swiper building? There we are. Chain Vest. Deadman's Plate looks like it is going to be the next option. Similarly to Pac-Man, BMA just pushes this wave back forward again. Swiper heading back down. So, looks like a stalemate might have been reached, but
yeah,
I'm worried like you are, Rusty, because you look at the Renekton Lee Sin. We've seen this by the Chiefs before. It was against Legacy. It was when they decided that they wanted to go to Gamescom instead of the Chiefs. It was a very similar team comp in that 5th game. And just got to the point where the Chiefs couldn't do anything.
Watch out, Beamer.
Oh my goodness.
Those silly ghosts. They're not that spooky, are they?
Just find him. But Trident, they've actually started the Baron here as extra wards go down. They're not going to be able to do much about it, but BMA, he's going to be fine.
They know the 2 are bottom, so Trident, the natural progression towards the Baron, try and force it, or at least force vision away from the Chiefs, and they have to bring Lissandra back.
Oh, she's going to get pinged out though. Trident looking to try and see if they can cut Cheese off. Just going to claw his way over the blue wall. He'll get there. Dragon not available just yet. Trident haven't really found too much. But neither of the Chiefs. Nothing changing. This gold lead, or whatever you want to call it, because it ain't a lead, is staying very stagnant.
It's like the Cowboys walking back, waiting to draw.
Yeah. The standoff.
Yeah, it is a standoff. It's an ARAM, really. But like, we'll call it standoff because it sounds badass.
Yeah, and Swiper's cheating.
Standoff.
Or he wasn't invited to the standoff.
Well, he's standing in an off lane.
Yeah, that's true. He's standing off, but he just didn't quite get it, I don't think. Oh, that's what you guys meant. Oh, sorry.
I thought you said stand off the lane.
Yeah, okay. I understand.
I like
now.
how that's what Swiper sounds like too, because that's totally incorrect.
Absolutely nothing like what Swiper sounds like.
Hi guys, Swiper. I'm Swiper.
No, don't even. Well, actually the Sterix Gauge has been picked up by Addition as well.
Yep.
So he's got one. Has been sort of the defensive item of choice.
It's the anti-burst.
It is. Definitely anti-Lissandra as he's got that QSS there as well. So he's going to be hopping around afterwards and not going to be in too much damage, danger of just being destroyed instantly.
A second one on the way, of course, for Pac-Man on this Darius, and basically starting to match item builds with Swiper. I think the biggest difference right now is, again, the farm on this Lissandra. Beamer's just not keeping up.
No, he's not. And that being said, I mean, Cheese is farming exceptionally well. 120 here at 30 minutes in.
God, yeah.
Very, very good. But you're exactly right. It is a discrepancy.
It does also mean that there's a Void Staff compared to a Blasting Wand, and that is a rather large power spike.
Very good point. And Beamer may have money to go towards it, but will have to go back. He is going to head back now. Does have teleport available.
Changed his mind.
Oh, actually, yeah, decided to continue pushing this one out. You can see pings from the Chiefs.
I wouldn't, Beamer.
Yeah.
It is, honestly, I can't find another word besides standoff. They're just...
Yeah. I know what you mean.
How many times are they going to talk to each other and just be like, one more item, just 100 more gold? Like, what's the actual game plan from these guys? Because
procrastination. League of procrastination right now.
I mean, surely it's playing on their minds. Are they going to work towards a 5-dragon win condition? Because it's currently 1-2. We'll be here for a while. A little while, yeah. If that's what they're going for, which I doubt.
Well, Ped looking for a flank. Hasn't used the tunnel just yet. Going to knock Ejim up, but he's pretty tanky here on this Trundle. Radier hanging off to the side. Can Arcane shift when he wants. Slowed down is everyone. Frost Queen's claim comes over, but nothing to be found. Cheese was slowed down by that one as Lulu was trying to hold him off. You can see the top laners battling.
Isn't standard from the Chiefs.
No.
Of all teams in the OPL, you would expect the most established team to be the one playing with the biggest condition, the most emphasis on how they're actually going to win this game. And whether they think they're behind and they're playing like it against Trident, or whether they just don't actually know what their plan is is yet to be noted.
Being said, I mean, Radier does have an opportunity, but Cheese, he's got impatient. He's going to go all in here onto BMA. Luden's Echo going to be utilized, but the Q lands from Cheese. Doesn't have the flash just yet. He's just going to speed himself up. Cheese going to be a bit frustrated, but at least understands that he's won the 1v1 at this point.
He's going to put some damage onto that turret as well, but Beamer will get back there, and Cheese can't fight because Beamer does still have his flash, and they only shared ultimates burned between the two.
And his Frost Queen's on cooldown here as well as Cheese.
Lulus are out.
It's going to have to be some very creative use of this claw as he does use it just straight up the lane. But look at the Glitter Lance. Pac-Man not going to be slowed too much as the Zhonya's is going to come in, and Trident, they know exactly what they want. Straight towards the Baron. 4v5 situation. Beamer relatively low. We'll see whether the Chiefs can fight this one.
Beamer should have recalled and started to teleport back in to get full health, but they're going to still pressure this Baron out. Chiefs, they might have an opportunity to fight here. They've got the Ezreal.
Yeah, lower health bars here as well. True Shot Barrage is available, but that's a decent pulverize. Jake's going to throw Swiper in. That's where he wants to be. The shutdown comes in. BMA's dead. Impaired's just getting kited by Radier, who shifts his way over. This is the Ezreal's time to shine now as Addition. He's running away. The Chiefs still team fight so exceptionally. Addition's going to die, and this could mean it's their Baron.
And I am going to say again, Beamer probably should have recalled. He has his flash available, and Jake headbutts Swiper into the backline. He should be kiting other people away. The Chiefs, this is the team fighting that we expect from a very, very experienced side. They come up massive around this Baron, and they look to be able to take this one down after they take out 4 members already.
Yeah, Swiper says, no, I don't want to die to this, but they are going to be able to take it. Cheese is available as well, so that is 5 Barons swirling around the Chiefs. And let's see this one again.
Watch what Jake does here. It's very, very silly what he does. Of course, Raider does hit the True Shot Barrage. No opportunity to react from Beamer with the ultimate and flash available. Even Pac-Man, he goes down very quickly, and this is why doing the Baron could be considered a big mistake. You lose those resistances, and if the Chiefs find an opportunity or a way in which they were lovingly gifted, yeah, then it looks very bad.
Yeah, well, Radier is... he's gone back and built himself a full item. So yeah, he's feeling pretty strong right now. 2, 1, and 3. So didn't pick up all that many kills from that last engagement, but when it's 5-6 here at 35 minutes in the game, every little difference counts because it was on a knife edge before. Now 3,000 gold is the lead for the Chiefs. Spooky Ghost coming out one more time. It's Radier pushing things forward, but it's about now. It's about the use of this Baron. It's going to make the difference.
I mean, honestly, again, this is the Chiefs now playing the 3-lane split push, forcing people to rotate back and forward until they find their way in. Last time was Lissandra trying to 1 versus 1 the Lulu. This time it's Lissandra getting a turret, while Swiper is still threatening in that top lane.
Yeah, you can see Pac-Man, he had to go back, answer that. Additions in the mid lane now as well. You can see Trident trying to defend this inner turret on the bottom side. Chiefs moving forward, continuing to push things out. The Baron buff doing a whole lot of work.
It's unrefined and it's messy, but the Chiefs are finding what they're looking for here. They've worked their way in on multiple turrets now, and they're threatening in multiple areas.
Oh, well, Swiper going aggressive onto Pac-Man here. Doesn't care about the full passive, but yeah, Pac-Man, doesn't get the apprehend.
Pac-Man.
The Swiper does have to wait for the passive to wear off. He's going to do so, but in comes Impaired. Chiefs say, well, if there's no Rek'Sai, no Darius, I'm going to do my best to try and push down this bottom turret. And they're going to do so. The back comes in from Pac-Man. He just wants to get his health back, understands that his base is under fire.
For a flank.
Yeah, half health now on this inhibitor turret. Oh, you're right. That ward just behind the Chiefs could be a way in.
Not opting to use it, of course. The Chiefs' pressure is well and truly there. And honestly, if Swiper died, this would be an entirely different situation right now.
Oh, wow. That apprehend was so close by Pac-Man. Not going to happen.
They'll have the tower in this wave. Trident need to go.
Yeah, well, Impaired was looking for it here as Cheese, although Fate's Call comes out, Cheese might be in trouble, but he gets pulverized up, looking for an ult target, just going to do it on himself to save his life. Knockups onto the Chiefs, nice apprehend there, but Jake's going to fall down. Trident are going so low, you can see Radier is able to freely hit, Beamer's going to fall down, double kill for Cheese as he's finding his way onto this Chiefs lineup very nicely. Shut down for Swiper as he gets his revenge. And the Chiefs, in a teamfight situation, you just can't seem to best him.
It was a desperate attempt here from Trident once again. Darius was super close to getting that ultimate reset where his damage would have been through the roof. And you have to say one more time, it was very close to being the difference between winning and losing. The Chiefs, though, as you said, their team fighting always reigns supreme. Never let the Chiefs go to that late game. This is where they shine.
Yeah, despite the Renekton, despite the early focused Lee Sin pick, the Chiefs really just make it work, and you have to hand it to Rady. His target selection in a team fight towards the end of a game, utterly stunning. So congratulations for the Chiefs. Honestly, what we're expecting from the team, but man, Trident, what a showing here as their debut game into the OPL.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of positives to take from Chiefs and Trident both, but also a lot of messy negatives that they need to really work on coming into this second game. Trident, they've shown they can do it.
They certainly have, but let's throw it over to our experts to take us through that game.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm Jake Spawntype, still joined by Ryan Master and Pastry Time, and that was a pretty intense game. Want to kick it off with how they started off, though, because a much more passive AD carry support duo for the Chiefs, which meant that they focused a lot towards the top side of the map.
Yeah, Swiper got a nice lead, 20 CS or so by 10 minutes in the top lane, so Spook's pressure did help him. Ezreal, Rady on his signature champion Ezreal, so he cleaned up in the team fights, and I guess that's what they aim for.
Yeah, exactly right. So towards the end of the game, they were able to get it going, but Pastry Time, a little bit of no Swift and no brain in the mid game. That was a weird dive.
Yeah, really over-aggressive, to be honest, for the Chiefs. Like, they had the right idea coming in for that dive, but they ended up getting split off after a really good teleport from Pac-Man. And you just can't afford to make those mistakes. Like, Trundle couldn't tank enough. They dived way too deep towards the tier 2 and just got Darius a triple kill. And that was almost enough to set up Trident for a really good mid-game. But for me, I just feel like they didn't fight with that Darius.
Yeah, exactly right. And, you know, the thing about this team comp, we kept talking about it, getting on top of Ezreal Trundle, so hard. And, you know, they were looking for picks around the map. But when it got to that team fighting phase, it just wasn't going to work out. We actually have a replay of, I guess, the first big team fight that we'll bring up on our screens. Rhymeister, as this one rolls out, take us through it because they just didn't execute well enough.
Well, they got a nice pick on Cheese to start this off, but I feel like they should have just set up around just warded around Baron, and they didn't have to start it. All they had to do was just ward base and then start looking to bait it, because they have the Kalista and the power that they can just bait it. But they try it and force a fight, and Ali just goes for a flash pole, which wasn't necessary because they already took so much damage from the Baron, and yeah, it was a lost fight.
And the thing about Alistar is that as long as you hold your two abilities, that Pulverize, the ability to headbutt someone, you're always a threat. I think you just pulled it a little bit too early there, Jake, and it ended up putting the Renekton in the middle of the team. Maybe you could have even punted someone away, but we said Trident, during the early game, they looked like they had the right idea, get Pac-Man rolling, try and set up these split pushes, but in the end, the execution just wasn't there.
Yeah, exactly. Trident definitely had the right idea in this game. They were playing very well. They had actually very strong decisions, both at a micro and a macro level, and I was impressed with their earlier mid-game. It just, yeah, team for execution-wise, the comp they drafted for themselves, they just have no good way to get in. You already talked about it being hard enough to get in on blue Ezreal Trundle. They've got, like, Fate's Call, Alistar, and you saw Imped try really hard to get Unburrow engages as well, but that's pretty much it. And when your engage is super linear, very predictable, you don't have the playmaking of, say, Alessandra with teleport looking for a flank. You just have a Lulu as support. It's so hard to make anything happen, and that was sort of the problem. They got ahead. The game stagnated. They could never find a fight that could snowball them, and they just kind of sat around, and then one Baron fight that we just saw then sort of turned the whole game around.
And right, we talked a lot about the mid laners before the game. You know, Cheese built a 50 CS lead by, I think it was 18 minutes through. He was ahead of the clock, kept it for the whole game. Is that what you're expecting from the mid lane? Can BMA step up, maybe take it to him the next game?
Maybe. I'm not too sure. Cheese did play well that game, but I think overall Chiefs, They did hook up a little bit, but the inexperience of Trident, like, it showed through that second fight, that big Baron fight, where all they had to do was just set up and go back to it later.
Yeah, and you know, we keep talking about it. Weird overall game plan from Trident. We're used to Pac-Man being the tank in the top lane. We're used to seeing a carry out of their superstar jungler Impaired. He picked up Rek'Sai this time around. Didn't have a horrible game. Do we expect him to go back to a Lee Sin and Nidalee picking game 2?
I really hope so. I think Impaired is definitely known for, again, strong mechanical junglers, good aggressive play. He played a little more passive on the Rex side, tried to look for bottom lane of all places to try and get them ahead to snowball that lane, and it was fine, but it's not the same as the aggressive junglers that I know he can play.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't, and it didn't get them the win. Chiefs able to pick up the first. We are going to jump in game 2 relatively soon, but we have to have a break first, guys. Don't go